What's happening, people? This is Rohit here, and in this podcast episode, I'm going to discuss my self care and self love pointers. I mean, somewhere inside, it's more like umbrella term, and at least this podcast episode, I'm going to discuss what I do for my own, and it's definitely very important to recognize and acknowledge what is happening. So, and what gives you happiness, what gives you pleasure, because if you don't know how to love yourself, and that's going to be a huge mess later, because you're going to love other person, and for that you need to love yourself first. That person is going to have their own way of loving themselves, and you need to understand that. And if you ask and they don't have an answer, and then you're trying to figure that out, it's a lot of different things. And at least this podcast episode, I'm going to discuss my own pointers. Usually I don't have a sheet of paper to discuss, but then for this one I do have it. This is actually a journal that I wrote for my own. That's what I'm going to read it out. I decided to analyze some of my solo dates to see the pattern that I follow and the blueprint that I have, and I do nearly all of them in one day. Before leaving, basic stretching, nice long bath in the morning, self care and grooming, dress up well for the New York City solo dates. After I leave home, daily prayers, decided location, at least one or two locations, which is decided whether it's museum or decided location or some kind of event which is happening, and then you're going to cover that. So that's like a solo date, actual solo date. And then walking to the location. So that's more like walking in a way, and that sometimes happens to be 8 miles or minimum or 75 blocks in the city. Photo shoots at multiple places in New York City. For me, that's one thing I will go in detail later. And then treating myself to something really nice outside, people watching at tourist spots, talking to strangers, eating at a new local eatery, trying a new local or any local activity like kayaking or skating. And this is after I return home, cooking lunch or dinner after returning, aromatherapy, self dance session with music or self singing, sorry, solo singing, solo dance and solo singing, night skincare routine, journaling at the end of the day, good long and deep sleep at night. That did not feel weird at all when I read it out. And self love. Too much self care posts of Insta being followed unconsciously, weekly therapy sessions justified. And like 2 sessions per week, yeah. 100 plus solo dates in New York City in over. I mean, this says 62 weeks. I'm pretty sure it's more than 62 weeks since I moved here, and then went on my own. But right now, you don't realize that so much of focus is on solo dates, and it's not like I have a checklist where I be like, oh, aromatherapy check, oh, this is going to happen, oh, eating. A lot of these things happen unconsciously. This is something which I realize I do it on a regular basis, and that's what I read it out. So now that I think about it, you realize that there's so many different dimensions of wellness. You have that physical, mental, emotional, social. I'm fulfilling every single thing, even environmental, that walking outside, that nature outside, or what I am doing, that comes under environmental as well as physical. So, and I mean, so many different things. I enjoy taking pictures as well as getting pictures taken. So having my own photo shoots makes me happy. That's something which happens. Basic stretching, that's again physical wellness. Nice long bath, aromatherapy, all these are again things which makes me feel good and makes me comfortable. And grooming, all those things are very basic. And then going on the solo dates, deciding a location, that's more like museum or event, what I'm going to cover for that day, whether it's for content creation or for going and covering just for the sake of enjoying that event, and that's getting covered. Daily prayers, that's more like spiritual wellness. Walking to the location, I mean, I pride is walking, I don't take subway. Walking is walking. Photo shoots, treating something, and eating. I'm like, I want to explore. I'm an international student right now, and I want to explore so many different spots. I'm getting into food reviews as well. I'm getting to do all those factors. And after coming home, again I'm cooking. It's again a stress relieving activity. Journaling, I'm recording all my thoughts. And for me, it's more like, you know what, it's very important and special for me to record it, because as an international student, I'm doing all of these things, and right now I'm not talking to anyone. But again, I mentioned talking to strangers. That's here and there. It's plus minus kind of thing. Now I don't talk so much when I go out, but it's not like I don't know how to talk. Obviously, I know it's just being in control. Obviously, I'm very passionate conversationalist. So if you see me in public, don't hesitate to come and talk to me. And then so many things which I noticed, and something which I check. I if this other things which I can add, I'll actually add it. And it's not like a checklist as I mentioned, but this is just things that I do. And some things maybe you would have listened to for the first time, some things maybe you can incorporate in your life, on your lifestyle, whichever works best for you. And if there's anything even I'm willing to learn and incorporate in myself, but something I'm doing unconsciously when I go on a solo date and getting all these things done is something I'm very grateful for, and I'm having fun with it. It shouldn't feel like a tedious work to be done or schedule to be done. You're like, oh, 9 p.m. it's aromatherapy. It's not like that, right? So it just happens very naturally, and I'm definitely very grateful. And it's all about having fun, and that's what self care is all about. Making sure that you feel comfortable with yourself. Self love is just loving yourself for who you are, being comfortable again, and I feel I'm doing well. And if it gets updated, I'll let you all know. Thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.